Don't move, this one will hit your heart. In the next few minutes, we're opening the doors of TV's most famous courtroom to honor the stars we lost and the endings that shock fans everywhere. Please watch till the end, because I'll share a clear list of who we're covering, the simple facts behind their last days, and a gentle tribute that ties it all together. Here's the list for today. In the order we'll visit them: Raymond Burr, Perry Mason; Barbara Hale, Della Street; William Hopper, Paul Drake; Ray Collins, LT Tragg; Wesley Lau, LT; Andy Anderson; Richard Anderson, LT; Steve Drum; and William Talman, Hamilton Berger. Each name carries a memory, a voice, and a final bow. Let's honor them with care, plain words, and real respect. Raymond Burr did not just play Perry Mason, he became the face of calm, smart, unbreakable justice. In the show, he could stop a room with a quiet objection, and then guide a witness step by step until the truth stood on its own. Off screen, he was kind and steady, a professional who kept working right to the end. His passing came after a fight with cancer. He left us in the early 90s, but his presence still fills the frame in every rerun and every TV movie he filmed later in life. Fans remember the voice, the stare, the careful way he placed a question. What many also remember is his loyalty to the role he returned years later, for a whole series of TV films, and even when he was ill, he kept showing up for the audience that loved him. The shock of losing him was softened only by the comfort that his final films aired soon after. Like One Last Case Delivered with Love, Barbara Hale gave Della Street grace, strength, and real heart. She was never just a secretary, she was a partner, a strategist, and a calm in the storm beside Perry, a tilt of her head, a quiet no passed at the right time, a single look that said, "You've got this," off camera. She was warm and loyal, with a close bond to her cast. She returned for dozens of TV movies and stayed part of the story until the mid-90s. In her later years, she dealt with health problems and passed away in her 90s. Fans felt it, because Della was the person you trusted in every episode, the one who remembered, who cared, who steadied the ship. When she died, it felt like the light in that office finally dimmed, but the glow she left behind is still there. Every time Perry turns and Della is already holding the file, you remember what teamwork looks like. William Hopper's Paul Drake gave the show its cool, outside the courtroom energy. He was the private eye who could find a lead, crack a smile, and keep his head when things got tense. He moved with quiet confidence, not loud or flashy, but sharp. On screen, he was smooth. Off screen, he had a soft side and carried the weight of a life shaped by war and work. After the series, he faced serious health issues. He suffered a stroke, then developed pneumonia, and passed away not long after. Fans were stunned. Paul Drake was the guy who always got there on time, who always brought the missing piece. Losing him felt like losing the show's heartbeat between the hearings. Even today, when a scene cuts to the hallway and Paul steps in with a lead, you can feel the old rush. Okay, now we have a chance. Ray Collins crafted LT Arthur Tragg with careful wit and a steady code. He was the first face of the police in the show, skeptical, yes, but fair. He had that sly line delivery that made you smile even when he pressed the case hard. He respected the law, respected the work, and even as he pushed Perry, you felt a strange friendship there. Away from the set, Collins had a long stage and radio career before TV, and later he faced lung disease that made the job harder. He had to step back, and then he left us in the mid-60s. For many fans, that was the first hard goodbye in the Perry Mason world. Watch the old episodes and you'll see it. The careful steps, the sharp eyes, the sense that he knows more than he is saying. That is what made Tragg feel real. When Collins died, the show had to find a new path for the badge, but the shadow of Tragg always stayed in the room. Wesley Lau took the handoff with quiet strength as LT Andy Anderson. He was calm, bright, and sure-footed, the kind of detective who listened first and spoke second. The shift from Tragg to Anderson could have felt rough, but Lau made it smooth. He did not copy the man before him. He found his own rhythm. Off-screen, he was humble, trained, a man of craft more than spotlight. He passed away in the mid-80s, and fans who knew him from the show felt a private kind of grief. Anderson was the steady light you didn't always notice until a key scene needed it. Watch him watch a witness. Watch him weigh a detail. He was proof that good work does not need to shout. Richard Anderson, no relation, joined for the final season as LT Steve Drum and brought a cool, careful edge. He stood tall, chose his words, and let silence do half the talking. His scenes with Perry were a respectful tug of war. To pros, one truth. After Perry Mason, he became famous again as Oscar Goldman in the hit shows. But he never lost that courtroom poise. He lived a long life and passed away in his 90s. Fans from many eras posted the same thought. I believed him. That is not easy to do. The badge must feel real. The look must be right. With Drum, it was Doc William Talman's Hamilton Burger is easy to joke about. He lost a lot of cases, but the character had heart and weight because Talman gave him those things. Burger stood for the law even when the law landed on the wrong person. He argued hard, took the loss, and came back the next week to seek the truth again. Off camera, Talman faced a harsher fight. A heavy smoker, he was told he had little time left. Near the end, he filmed a brave public message asking people not to follow his path with cigarettes. That message aired after he died in the late 60s, and it moved many. It still does. Fans remember the objections and the glare across the aisle, but many also remember the man who tried to help strangers with his final breath. That is a legacy larger than a role. Let's pull back for a second and talk about why these losses hit so hard. Perry Mason was not loud TV, it was patient TV. It trusted the audience. It gave you the things that never go out of style, a good mind at work, and good people trying to do the right thing. When a cast like that ages and leaves us, it feels like a long, familiar street finally going quiet at night. The shock comes because they were always there. You didn't think it could end. You thought the office door would always open and Della would always be at the desk. You thought Paul would always have one more lead, Trag one more dry line, Burger one more push, and Perry one more question that turns the whole case around. When they pass, you feel it in your own home, because that is where you watch them. Think about the scenes that stay with you. Perry standing still as a witness realizes the lie will not hold. Della's quick smile when the final piece lands. Paul leaning on a desk with a new fact. Trag raising an eyebrow that says, I'm not sold yet. Anderson writing something in a small notebook and closing the cover like he just found the thread. Drum stepping in with a measured tone. Burger's voice breaking just a little as he realizes the wrong person is in danger. These are small beats, but they built a world that felt safe, a place where truth could still win if someone worked hard. Enough. Let's circle back to each name with a simple closing note, so we carry them clearly. Raymond Burr, the anchor, the mind, the steady hand, passed after cancer, but left us final films like Last Letters. Barbara Hale, the heart and wit by Perry's side, passed in her 90s, leaving a model of quiet strength. William Hopper, the cool, loyal partner out in the field, passed after a stroke and pneumonia, but his hallway walk still gives hope. Ray Collins, the first face of the badge, sharp and fair, stepped back for health, then left us, but his shadow still stands near the jury box. Wesley Lau, the calm guard, the careful ear, gone too soon, but his steady gaze still holds the screen. Richard Anderson, the precise voice of the final season, lived long, left a wide trail, but his quiet in the courtroom is what lasts. William Talman, the proud DA who fought hard and told a hard truth at the end, gone young, but his warning still helps people today. If you made it this far, thank you. Which story touched you the most? Was it a line, a look, a moment you can still see when you close your eyes? Share it in the comments so we can build a living tribute together. If this tribute gave you comfort or taught you something new, please like the video so it reaches more fans and subscribe for more warm, respectful looks at classic stars. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next tribute. Take care of yourself tonight. Call someone you miss, and remember, good work, done with heart, never really leaves. Case closed and never forgotten.